The Patriot by Robert Browning. It is its part 2. The Patriot, its first part, we have already discussed a few important ideas. In today's this video, what we are going to do, we are going to analyze the poetic devices those have been used in this poem, The Patriot. Poetic devices. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds in the same line, such as the sound of awe and it was roses, roses all the way. Ah, in the church spires flamed such flags they had, and the sound of E. In had I said, God for mere noise ripples. So here we have the example of assonance. And assonance is what? It is a repetition of vowel sound in the same line. The second one is alliteration. It is the use of successive consonant sounds in the initials of the successive words, such as ma and muddle, mix, murmur. So alliteration is what? It is basically the repetition of initial consonant sounds within a line. Then the next example of poetic device is anaphora. The poem shows the use of anaphora as the repetition of thus I in the first verse of the last stanza, as thus I entered and thus I go. So thus. Here, this is the example of anaphora. Imagery. It is used to make readers perceive things involving their five senses. The poem shows the use of imagery such as just a pulsate, few, and the windows set. A rope cuts both my wrists behind. So here we can see the imagination. You can easily imagine one thing. There is a rope, and if a rope cuts both my wrist behind, so we can easily imagine such idea. And alack, it was I who leaped at the sun. So we can easily imagine such type of ideas. We can think about these things, and these are the imaginary ideas. Those can come in our mind. So this is what it is, imagery. Juxtaposition. The poem shows the juxtaposition of opposing ideas in the first three and last three stanzas, such as noise and silence, and welcome and adieu. So these are opposing ideas, once the noise and then silence, and then welcome and adieu means farewell. Metaphor. It is a figure of speech in which an implied comparison is made between the objects that are different. The poem shows the use of metaphors such as the air that breaks into mist, which means the air is like a bamboo stick, or old walls are like the swings. So here it is the example of metaphor. Personification. We know what does mean by personification. Personification is humanly qualities. Those have been shown in other things. The poet has shown the use of air and old walls as if they have life and emotions of their own. He has personified them. Rhetorical questions. When we talk about a rhetorical question, it is a question that is not asked to receive an answer. It is just posed to make the point clear. The poem shows the use of a rhetorical question such as, in triumphs, people have dropped down debt. Paid by the world, what does the O mean? Question mark. And here it is rhetorical question. When a writer, when a poet, he asks a question not for the sake of answer. It is called rhetorical question. And usually when we have such questions in poems or in other composition. Of course, poet or the writers, yeah, they usually ask such questions just to make you start thinking, to make you compelled to think. Symbolism. Symbolism is using symbols to signify ideas and qualities, giving them symbolic meanings that are different from literal meanings. The poem shows the use of the symbols of flames, noise, and then silence to show the sudden political upheavals. So here we are going to end our today's video that is all about the poetic devices. Those have been used in this poem of Robert Browning, The Patriot. Hopefully it will be helpful for you.